Almost every organization has a list of values: integrity, collaboration, ownership, excellence. Leaders talk about them. They appear in presentations, they are printed on walls. But in many organizations, those values don't actually shape behavior. Why? Not because people disagree with them, but because something else is in control. When system rewards one behavior and the values asked for another, the system wins. And the moment where that happens is surprisingly easy to observe. We'll get to that in a minute. In this episode, we will look at three things: the override that beats values, the moment where values collapse under pressure, and the simple test that reveals why the same behaviors keep repeating. What is override principle? Every organization has what we might call an override. The behavior that people default to when values collide with reality. When speed becomes urgent, when status is involved, when risk appears, when approval slow progress. The real question is not what values are written. The real question is what behavior does the system make necessary to succeed here? Because people rarely follow the safest idea, they follow the safest path, the path that protects reputation, the path that protects relationships, the path that protects their ability to deliver results. And the easiest way to find that override is to watch what happens when values are tested. That moment reveals everything. Then there is collision test. If you want to understand your real culture, watch what happens when values collide with pressure. For example, when speed increases, does quality survive? When someone takes ownership, does the system support them or slow them down? When someone raises an uncomfortable truth, does the organization reward honesty or avoid the discussion? When standards are violated, are they enforced consistently or selectively? These collision moments reveal something important. Not the values the organization promotes, but the behavior the system actually protects. If you know want to understand real values, don't listen to the words. Watch behavior at the moment of collision. And once you see those collisions, another pattern becomes visible, which is the cost test. Behavior inside organization is shaped by the cost. If a behavior becomes expensive, it slowly disappears. Even if everyone agrees it is the right behavior. For example, if speaking honestly creates reputational risk, people stay silent. If enforcing standards creates conflict, standards weaken. If raising issues early slows progress, problems surface late. Over time, what happens? People adapt, not because they lack integrity, because the system quietly teaches them which behaviors are safe and which are costly. And the pattern becomes predicted. Whatever behavior becomes expensive becomes rare. So the real diagnostic question is not belief, it's cost. And here today I'm sharing fast diagnosis questions. If you want to understand why values are not shaping behavior, A few questions reveal the answer quickly. Which value gets tested most often under pressure? What behavior wins when that value is tested? What behavior helps people appear successful in this organization? What behavior is quietly discouraged even though the values say otherwise? Where do standards become inconsistent? And one final question that reveals almost everything. If someone lived the values perfectly for 1 week, what would it cost them? The answer is that question explains most behavior patterns. This is where many organizations make a mistake. When values fail to influence behavior, leaders often respond with stronger messaging, new campaigns, new workshops, new language. But if the override is still in place, stronger messaging usually creates cynicism. People can see the gap between what is said and what is rewarded. And that gap slowly erodes trust. The real work is not just messaging, the real work is redesign. If values are not changing behavior in your organization, then the problem is rarely belief. The problem is conditions. Ask a different question. What behavior does the system make necessary? And what behavior does it make expensive? Because that answer explains the culture you are experiencing. And once those conditions change, behavior changes with them. So ask this question and share with me what answers did you find in your organization. And thank you for listening.